Building the next generation, PJIA invests in the future of air traffic control. Fuel and water prices to drop, while electricity tariffs increase. Police investigate shooting incident in Betty Estate. Sky Sports Cricket interview with Brian Lara's emotional tribute to father figure Sir Garfield Sobers. From the island of St. Martin, this is SXM Daily News for July 24th, 2026. Every aircraft that arrives safely in St. Martin has already completed the most critical parts of its journey long before passengers step into the terminal. Behind the scenes, air traffic controllers coordinate every arrival and departure with precision, not only in St. Martin but in surrounding islands, ensuring aircrafts move safely and efficiently through one of the Caribbean's busiest airspaces. At Princess Juliana International Airport, PJIA, that responsibility begins with investing in the next generation. 9 Air Traffic Services, ATS, trainees achieved Flight Data Operator, FDO certification, marking an important milestone in their careers toward becoming fully certified air traffic controllers. The newly certified flight data operators are Mr. Monzon Bender, Miss Eugenie Brown, Mr. Simeon Brooks, Mr. Nkenzie Williams, Miss Rachel Barrett, Mr. Edwin De Weir, Ms. Kimoya Beckford, Mr. Tishandro Richardson, and Mr. Jaheel Fleming. While they continue to broaden their air traffic control training, their certification enables them to independently perform flight data operator duties, an essential function within the control tower supporting the safe and efficient movement of aircraft while gathering and strengthening their operational experience required to become a licensed air traffic controller. To recognize this important achievement, PJIA hosted a certification ceremony attended by members of the Managing Board, ATS management, instructors, and colleagues. Every aircraft that arrives or departs Princess Juliana International Airport relies on highly trained professionals working behind the scenes, said Michael Cleaver, Chief Executive Officer of Princess Juliana International Airport. Investing in local aviation talent is one of the most important investments we make. These trainees represent the future of air traffic services in St. Martin, and today's milestone reflects our long-term commitment to safety, operational excellence, and developing aviation professionals right here at home. Certificates were presented by Michael Cleaver, Emile Levons, Richard Van Dinter, Interim Director of Air Traffic Services, and Duncan Van Heiningen, Manager ATS Training and Development. Building St. Martin's Aviation Academy. Beyond celebrating the achievements of these 9 dedicated trainees, the certification represents a broader transformation taking place within PJIA's Air Traffic Services Division. For many years, aspiring air traffic controllers have depended on overseas training facilities in Curaçao and Trinidad. Air traffic controllers are required to obtain Flight Data Operator, FDO, certification as part of their training. Traditionally, this certification has only been available overseas and involves an intensive 2-year training program. Today, PJIA is providing that expertise in St. Martin through the development of the PJIA Aviation Training Academy, PATA. KPSM Dispatch received a report of a shooting in the Betty Estate area. Patrol officers were immediately dispatched to the location. Upon arrival, officers located an adult male suffering from 2 gunshot wounds to his lower body. Ambulance personnel was notified, arrival shortly thereafter, and rendered first aid at the scene, before transporting the victim to the St. Martin Medical Center for further medical treatment. The victim is currently listed in serious but stable condition. Preliminary information indicates that the victim was approached by two unknown individuals. The circumstances surrounding the incident remain under investigation. However, the victim reported that one of the individuals discharged a firearm, striking him in both legs. Detectives and members of the forensic department responded to the scene to conduct a thorough investigation and collect evidence. The investigation into this incident is ongoing. KPSM is appealing to anyone who was in the Betty Estate area around the time of the shooting and may have witnessed the incident or observed any suspicious activity to contact the police force of Sint Maarten. Contact numbers 54 22222 or 9300. Tip line information provided by the public is essential and may assist investigators in identifying and bringing those responsible to justice.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
Consumers in Curaçao will pay less for gasoline, diesel, and water in the coming weeks, while electricity tariffs will increase, according to the latest monthly tariff announcement by the Regulatory Authority of Curaçao, RAC. The new regulated prices for gasoline and diesel will take effect on Tuesday, July 28, 2026. The updated water tariff will apply from Saturday, August 1st, 2026. The RAC, which supervises price developments for fuel products and utility services, announced the changes following its monthly tariff review. The decrease in fuel prices is mainly due to lower international purchase prices. The end-user price for Mogus 95 gasoline will decline compared with the previous month due to the reduction in international fuel costs. The regulated price for gas oil, ultra-low sulfur diesel, will also decrease, although the reduction will be partially limited by a less negative correction factor compared with the previous month. Fuel tariffs are calculated based on several components, including the purchase price, import duties, fuel supply security costs, Curoil's margin, excise taxes, recovery of previous surpluses or deficits, cross-subsidies, wholesale taxes, dealer margins, and retail taxes. The purchase price used for the monthly calculation is determined based on available fuel stocks at the end of the previous month. For August 2026, the calculation is primarily based on fuel inventory data available at the end of June 2026. If the information provided by Curoil is insufficient, the RAC uses recent international market prices as a reference. Differences between regulated purchase prices and actual purchasing costs are later corrected through the surplus deficit recovery mechanism. While fuel and water prices will decline, electricity tariffs will increase. Electricity tariffs consist of a basic tariff and a fuel clause. The fuel clause includes both the cost of electricity purchased from third parties, such as renewable energy producers, and the fuel costs associated with electricity generated by Aqualectra itself. The RAC determines the monthly fuel clause based on Aqualectra's projected production mix, which reflects the expected contribution from different energy sources during the month. If the actual costs later differ from the forecast, adjustments are made through correction factors. The water tariff, however, will decrease. The RAC explained that this is mainly due to lower electricity costs associated with water production, combined with adjustments in the correction factor for June 2026. Curaçao has immediately imposed a total ban on the import of all living banana plants from Venezuela, as authorities move to prevent the introduction of the destructive Panama disease, also known as Tropical Race 4. The import ban applies to both dessert bananas and cooking bananas. The Ministry of Health, Environment and Nature, GMN, said the measure is necessary because of the increasing risk that the fungal disease could reach Curaçao through trade and transportation links with Venezuela, liable to eliminate the fungus once it infects a plantation. Venezuela recently declared a state of emergency after the aggressive soil fungus was detected in several regions of the country. The disease attacks the roots of banana plants, eventually causing them to die. There is currently no effective treatment available to eliminate the fungus once it infects a plantation. According to the ministry, Curaçao faces a significant risk because of its close geographical proximity to Venezuela and the frequent movement of goods and people between the two countries. If the fungus were to establish itself on the island, it would be extremely difficult to eradicate and could cause major damage to local agriculture and food security. Tropical Race 4 is considered one of the greatest threats facing the global banana industry. The disease was first identified in Asia in the 1970s and later spread to Africa in 2013. In 2019, the fungus reached Latin America, a region responsible for approximately 2/3 of global banana exports. The disease became known as Panama disease after it was first extensively documented in Panama, where it devastated plantations of the popular Gros Michel banana variety. The widespread destruction of Gros Michel bananas nearly collapsed the international banana industry at the time. The sector survived by switching to the Cavendish variety, which was initially resistant to the fungus. However, scientists have warned that Cavendish bananas are no longer considered fully protected against newer strains of the disease, including Tropical Race 4. The Curaçao government is urging residents, farmers, and importers to comply with the ban and avoid bringing living banana plants from Venezuela onto the island. Authorities said prevention remains the most effective way to protect Curaçao's agricultural sector from a disease that could have long-term consequences for local food production.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Saturday midday. Occasionally cloudy and slightly breezy with light haze and isolated showers. Surface winds, today through Saturday midday, easterly to east-northeasterly with a light to moderate breeze at 6 to 16 mph. State of the sea, slight to moderate waves, swells 2 to 5 feet outlook through Sunday midday. Occasionally cloudy and slightly breezy with scattered showers. And now your 3-day forecast.
social and health insurance is SXM. Your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social and health insurance.
Sky Sports cricket interview with Brian Lara's emotional tribute to father figure Sir Garfield Sobers.
In the field, one of two players in the world that was on the field for 775 runs, and he didn't pick me in his best 11. What's wrong with you?
It was the people that assigned...
775 runs, and he came to me after the 400. He said, "Why did you do that to me?" It's all right.
It was people who had signed the board at the Oval, and I didn't see your name. I apologise.
How are you, other than not being very happy with him?
Sad.
Yeah.
I'm very, very sad. Sagari, 48 hours ago, passed away, and he was a father figure, a general, a mentor in my life. So even though I'm here today, I am sad, but yet 89 is not a bad score.
No.
For a great man, 89 is a great score. And I want to tell the whole of the Caribbean that we need to celebrate his life.
What did he mean to the whole of West Indies cricket? I mean, obviously very heavy Bayesian, obviously leaning, but to the whole of West Indies cricket, trying to bring all those islands together. You know that's not always straightforward.
No, I mean, that is not straightforward, but you know, in each era of West Indies cricket, there's a different motivational factor. In the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s. I mean, Clive Lloyd and Sir Vivian Richards and all these guys, Sir Clive Lloyd, they wanted to be the best team in the world. I knew for a fact that what I read, that during the 50s and 60s, is all about making ourselves independent of that rule, that English rule. And Sir Garfield Sobers, Sir Frank Worrell, I mean, the great Sir West Hall, they all fight for a different purpose. And for me, Sir Garfield Sobers is the most amazing person that I've ever met. Cricketer, I've never seen him play. A friend, a father figure, just unbelievable.
When you scored your magnificent 277 in Sydney, was he pleased with you?
No.
How can he not be pleased when you make 277?
He was not pleased. You know why? That was January 1993. I was in the shower. I was the happiest person in the world. I have pictures of it. I was like, you know, I was in the shower and he came in and I saw it, you know, I should hide a little bit, but, you know.
We don't need quite so much detail.
But you know what he said to me? He said, "What's wrong with you, young man?" I said, "What?" He said, 300. 365. I'm 22, 23 years old, and all I'm concentrating on the fact that I saved the West Indies from a Sydney defeat. I got 277. I'm the happiest person in the world. The only thing between us, the only thing I was
There's a few
upset
million
about,
people watching as well, not between us.
Okay, cool. The only thing I was upset about is I didn't get 292 to beat Sir Vivian Richards' highest score. But yeah, Sir Garfield Sobers came to the dressing room and he was not happy.
Eventually, though, you did go past his record in Antigua. We got some images of this. What did he say to you after that?
Sir Garfield Sobers was always a supporter of mine, and he came out into the dressing room and into the middle of the field, and he said that there's no other person I wanted to break this record but you. He supported me at 14 years old. I went to the Sir Garfield Sobers tournament. He saw me, and from that day, he was one of my biggest supporters. And to do that on that day with him being there was a very special moment.
He supported you, and he said it on interview as well, because of the way you batted. Not all about stats and statistics. We remember your stats, we remember his. I think he averaged nearly 58 in Test match cricket. It's the way he played and the way you played. That's why he loved your batting style. How important was that for the West Indian community, the way Sir Garfield Sobers played his cricket?
Yeah, I think it was important. I mean, obviously, Sir Garfield Sobers finished around 1974. I was only about 5 or 6 years old. And what I understood about the way he played, I mean, as a bowler, as a batter, as a fielder, it was always entertaining. And to get that sort of accolade from him, where he felt that I played the game in sort of the same way, was amazing. You know, a lot of people talk about us being calypso cricketers or collapso cricketers, whatever they want to call us. But Sir Garfield Sobers, during that period of time, there was nobody that matched what he did. And for me, I'm so proud to have spent so many years with him. So many intimate periods with him on the cricket field. I played one match with him, a polio match in Trinidad. I played golf with him. I spent time with him. It is something that I'm not going to cry, but to be with that great gentleman is a celebration for me.
I was privileged enough to interview Sir Gary a couple of times. I also played golf with him at the Barbados Golf Club. And I watched him get onto the tee, and he's off 4 or whatever, and his knees are gone, and he had to get the caddy to put the tee in the ground. And I thought, how's he playing off 4? And this old man walked up, and then he got into his stance, and he just went... It was the most natural golf swing, the most natural ball strike I've ever seen. That was him as a cricketer as well,
exactly.
wasn't it? Wrist spin.
What we call the Ryder Cup as professional golfers. He played in the Homan Cup for Barbados. He was an amazing golfer. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I think he liked golf a lot, even maybe a little bit more in his old age.
Iran has threatened to attack British bases being used by the US to launch operations against Iran. It accused the UK of being an accomplice of the US military and said that UK bases used by US forces were legitimate targets.
All this as another front in their war appears to have opened up between the US and Iran, this time in the Red Sea, where Iranian-backed Houthi rebels say they've attacked 2 oil tankers. That news pushed energy prices up sharply, with the cost of a barrel of oil hitting $100 for the first time since May. More on that in a moment, but first, Jeremy Bowen has our top story tonight.
The UK's attempt to keep a distance from America's war with Iran while still letting US B-1 bombers use British bases, this is RAF Fairford, is wearing thin, certainly as far as the Tehran regime is concerned. The B-1s, Britain says, can only fly defensive missions. That's an inherently ambiguous statement, as in warfare the line between defense and offense is hard to define, and it's dismissed by Iran, which now says bases like Fairford are legitimate targets for attack. It is not clear what they might do, but the threat will be taken very seriously. In the Gulf, 12 days of renewed US strikes, Iranian retaliation and mutual threats add up to a full-scale return to war. Military and economic pressure on Iran is intense, but there's no sign that another bombing campaign, on top of 39 days of strikes before the ceasefire in April, will force the regime in Tehran to bend or break. Donald Trump's repeated emphasis on tactical success, all that the US has destroyed, cannot hide the evidence that his attempt to get a quick victory over Iran has turned into a strategic defeat for the United States.
I had a newspaper say, they're in stronger position today than they were 4 months ago. No, that's not the truth. That's not right. I can't believe they're even allowed to say it. New York Times said They're in stronger position today. They have no military. They have no navy. They had 159 ships. Everyone's at the bottom of the sea.
Until now, all eyes have been on the Strait of Hormuz. America's justification for this current campaign was to stop Iranian attacks on ships there. But now there's a new front opening up. It's the Bab al-Mandab Strait at the southern end of the Red Sea. The Houthis in Yemen, Iran's allies, are attacking tankers carrying Saudi oil. Last night, 2 tankers were hit, including this one, the Saudi-registered Encelia, targeted when travelling south out of the strait. If Bab al-Mandab, as well as the Strait of Hormuz, is blocked, the Saudis will have no direct routes to their huge markets in Asia, and we will all feel the economic consequences of higher oil prices. The Houthis look to be ending a 4-year truce with Saudi Arabia. And since the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visited Donald Trump at the White House last November, their alliance has been damaged by the war with Iran and now by the president's abrupt decision to link their new deal on nuclear technology with a demand for Saudi Arabia to recognize Israel. In Tehran, the Iranians are stepping up their anti-US propaganda, threatening to kill Donald Trump on the golf course alongside the president in a coffin. Neither the Iranians nor the Americans have ruled out a return to diplomacy, but that would require both sides to de-escalate and soon after accept concessions that neither, for now, is prepared to offer. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News.
This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.